The observation deck of Station Kepler-7 hummed with the quiet efficiency of 1,000 species coexisting in careful harmony. Sarah Chen stood at the reinforced viewport, her calloused hands wrapped around a cup of synthetic coffee that tasted nothing like Earth's original brew. 20 years of service in the Terran Defense Corps had left its marks, scars across her shoulders, a slight limp in her left leg, and eyes that had seen too many friends turn to vapor in the void. Behind her, the soft click of chitinous feet announced a visitor. "Veteran Chen," came the melodic voice, tinged with the characteristic vibrato of the Xaltorian species. "I hope I am not disturbing your solitude." Sarah turned to face Lyra Shen, one of the station's xenobiologists. The Xaltorian stood nearly 7 feet tall, her iridescent carapace shifting through shades of deep purple and blue in the viewport's light. 4 delicate arms folded gracefully before her, and her compound eyes, beautiful in their alien complexity, reflected the stars beyond. "Never a disturbance, Lyra," Sarah said, managing a tired smile. "Just watching the nebula. Still amazes me after all these years." Lyra Shen moved to stand beside her, maintaining the respectful distance her species always kept. They had worked together for 3 years now, ever since Sarah had retired from active duty and taken a position as security consultant for the station. In that time, an unlikely friendship had blossomed between the battle-scarred human and the gentle scientist. "It is beautiful," Lyra Shen agreed, her voice dropping to a whisper. "Though I confess, I did not come merely to admire the view." Sarah raised an eyebrow, a gesture she knew Lyra had learned to interpret. "Something wrong?" "No. Yes. Perhaps." Lyra's mandibles clicked in what Sarah had learned was nervousness. "I received communication from my birth hive today. They have found a suitable mate for me. I am expected to return to Zaltor within the cycle." "That's great," Sarah ventured, uncertain. She knew so little about Zaltorian reproduction despite their friendship. "No," Lyra said softly. "It is not great. It is duty. It is obligation. It is the way of my people." She paused, her antennae drooping. "You see, Sarah, no one marries my race for love. We are too different, too alien. Our unions are arranged, calculated for genetic optimization. But I can bear children. That is what matters to the hive. That is all that matters." Sarah felt something twist in her chest. In all their conversations, Lyra had never sounded so defeated. "You don't want to go," Sarah said quietly. "Want is irrelevant for one such as I." Lyra's translator struggled with the emotion bleeding into her native tongue. "I am past my prime breeding years by Zaltorian standards. I am fortunate they found anyone willing to accept me. My research, my work here, She gestured vaguely between them. "My friendships. These are luxuries. Children are necessity. Legacy is duty." Sarah set down her coffee cup with a decisive clink. "That's bullshit." Lyra's antennae shot up in surprise. Even after years of friendship, Sarah's human bluntness could still startle her. "I'm serious," Sarah continued, turning to face her friend fully. "You think you're the only one who's been told that your only value is what you can produce? You think humans don't have that same garbage in our history? Hell, in some of our cultures, it's still going on." "But you are human," Lyra protested. "Your species is desired across the galaxy. You are adaptable, resilient, passionate. Many species find humans attractive, fascinating. It is not the same." Sarah laughed, but there was no humor in it. "Lyra, I'm a 43-year-old soldier with more metal in her body than some starships. I've got scars on my scars, nightmares that wake me up screaming, and I smell like gun oil more often than perfume. Trust me, I'm nobody's first choice for romance." "That cannot be true." "Let me finish," Sarah interrupted gently. "Here's what I learned in 20 years of warfare. Love isn't about genetic compatibility or meeting someone's checklist. It's not about being the most desirable species in the galaxy or having perfect breeding potential. She stepped closer, closing the distance Lyra always maintained. It's about finding someone who sees you, really sees you, and chooses you anyway. Every day. Despite the universe telling them they should choose someone easier, someone more suitable, someone more conventional. Lyra's translator buzzed with an untranslatable sound. "Are you saying—" "I'm saying," Sarah continued, her voice steady despite her racing heart, "that for 3 years I've watched you light up when you discover a new microorganism. I've listened to you explain quantum entanglement at 3 in the morning because you couldn't sleep. I've seen you risk your life to save a station full of beings who barely acknowledge your existence. And somewhere along the way, I stopped seeing an alien scientist and started seeing someone I can't imagine my life without." The observation deck fell silent, except for the distant thrum of the station's engines. "Humans," Sarah said, reaching out slowly, giving Lyra time to withdraw if she wished. "We have this weird habit of falling in love with things that make no logical sense, with people who are wrong for us on paper. We're contrary like that, stubborn." Her hand hovered near Lyra's forearm. "And I've survived 20 years of war by trusting my gut. Right now, my gut is telling me that letting you go without saying this would be the biggest tactical error of my life." Lyra's smaller manipulator arms trembled as they reached out to meet Sarah's hand. The touch was electric, foreign, and somehow perfectly right. "But I cannot give you human children," Lyra whispered. "Our biologies are incompatible. I don't want you for children," Sarah said firmly. "I want you for coffee at odd hours and debates about xenobiology and the way you hum when you're working on a difficult problem. I want you for lazy evenings watching nebulae and arguing about ancient Earth movies you don't understand. I want you because you're you, Lyra, not because of what you can produce or provide." A sound emerged from Lyra's translator that Sarah had never heard before, something between a laugh and a sob. "The galaxy will think we are mad." "The galaxy already thinks humans are mad," Sarah grinned. "Might as well live up to our reputation." She squeezed Lyra's arm gently. "Besides, who says we can't build a family our own way? Adoption, mentorship. Hell, this station's full of kids who could use guidance. There's more than one way to leave a legacy." Lyra's compound eyes shimmered with moisture Sarah hadn't known her species could produce. "You would truly choose me? Despite everything?" "I already have," Sarah said simply. "The question is, what do you choose?" For a long moment, Lyra stood motionless, her antennae quivering as she processed emotions her species rarely acknowledged. Then slowly, deliberately, she intertwined all 4 of her arms with Sarah's 2, creating a knot of human and Zaltorian limbs that defied every biological and social convention in the known galaxy. "I choose this," Lyra whispered. "I choose us, however mad it may be." Sarah pulled her close as their different physiologies allowed, and pressed her forehead to Lyra's carapace. Outside the viewport, the nebula blazed in colors neither species could fully perceive alone, but together, they could appreciate something greater than the sum of their parts. Later, when the station's gossip networks exploded with news of the human veteran and the Zaltorian scientist, when diplomatic channels buzzed with confusion and concern, when xenobiologists scrambled to understand this unprecedented bond, Sarah and Lyra simply held each other and watched the stars. Because humanity had always excelled at one thing, loving what the universe told them they shouldn't. And in that defiance, in that stubborn insistence on choosing connection over convention, they showed the galaxy what it truly meant to be human. Not the weapons, not the warfare, not the territory or the tactics, the love, the choice, the courage to reach across the void and say, "You, I choose you." And sometimes, that was the most powerful weapon of all.